Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
Do I have everybody's attention now? Do I have everybody's attention now?
John, I got you.
John, do I have everybody's
Sunday
attention
night.
now?
You put them cameras on me, then you must be willing to get that heart touch. This a must-see feeling. The news ain't good, then it must be villain. So I say a tag round it, I don't trust these ceilings. Spread across your nose, and I'm on your ear. Highest necks on the cloud. Am I in the air? Sunday nights, prime time. I flex mine better. Voltron transform to DX Don Mega. And off scene, you probably think I'm nice, cause I flow like a stream to your wireless device. And the smoke full of steam on any given night. I'll short like a piece of any given slice. And for the latest and what is best about I tune in and tune the rest out, Don. You gotta tell them, am I in the clear? Is this thing on? Am I on the air? On the air?
Oh yeah, you know what it is. It's Am I on the Air time once again. Welcome everybody to the best damn entertainment show out there here in podcast form. I'm not trying to compete with nobody on the damn YouTubes and everybody with their video technology. Now this is just, a podcast forum for you to come check out weekly and get caught up with all the news and hear my opinions on what I think's hot, what I think's not, and everything in between. So we've been going strong for closing on 4 years now, man. So that is pretty damn exciting. This is Am I on the Air? It is June the 14th, and we are broadcasting live from the Red Dragons Radio Studios. Tonight is Season 10, Episode 22, and today's show is titled You're My Boy, Blue. If you've seen Jurassic World, then you get the joke. You know what it is. I'll explain a little bit more detail once I start doing the Jurassic World review. And boy, is it going to be a review. I cannot believe how amazing that thing did. Crazy. But before we get started with today's Am I on the Air, once again, I'm your host, Don Mega. And I want you guys to make sure that you go check out Red Dragons Assemble. We have a brand new episode of Red Dragons Assemble up over at reddragonsradio.com. For those of you, I've been preaching this show for a long time now, so hopefully all my longtime listeners know what's up. But if you're new to Am I on the Air and you're like, what the hell is a Red Dragons Assemble? I will break it down again for you real quickly. It is a spin-off show. It's another podcast that I host. And I have some co-hosts with me. I do it with my buddies Geeky Pat and Peeps. So the three of us get together once a month, usually at the beginning of the month, and we pretty much do a monthly roundtable discussion of the previous month's news. So, for example, we have a brand new episode of Red Dragons Assemble up right now. We just did it last week, so we've been heavily promoting it, and hopefully you guys have gone and checked it out by now. It's just simply titled Episode 4, so check out Episode 4 from Red Dragons Assemble. And basically, we're talking about all the big news that went down in May. Since we record in June, we always do the previous month. So in this episode, we break down all the Civil War casting. We talk about Suicide Squad. We talk about Spider-Man. We talk about Tron 3 being dead, the Transformers Writers Room, Chris Pine joining Wonder Woman, Tilda Swinton joining Doctor Strange, the X-Men spin-off The New Mutants, Underworld 5, Hugh Jackman being done as Wolverine, and a whole bunch more. Plus, we do a whole big movie trailer roundup and movie review roundup doing our reviews of all the films in the month of May. So it's definitely worth a check out. It's a really fun show to listen to because you not only get my opinion, but you get two other guys' opinions, and we don't always agree on everything. So it's really fun to listen to. We also broke down some of the early June news that I'll actually be covering tonight here on this show. So it was kind of breaking news over on Red Dragons Assemble that we kind of dipped in to a little bit of June news, so you can hear us talk about a lot of that on the latest episode as well. So please support it. You got myself right here from Am I on the Air. You got Geeky Pat from This Week with the Geek. And you got Peeps from the People's Forum. All three podcasts are on RedDragonsRadio.com. That is why the show is Red Dragons Assemble, because we pull the hosts together from individual shows and we all come together to share our views on the entertainment world. So it's definitely worth a listen. I can't stress it enough. You can find it on, of course, RedDragonsRadio.com, but also it is on iTunes, it is on Stitcher, and it is on Spreaker. So plenty of places to go check out Red Dragons Assemble. All right? So with that being said, let's get into tonight's show. You're my boy Blue, and let's kick it off talking about Jurassic World. I was looking really forward to this. This was definitely in my top 10 most anticipated films of the year, but if I recall, I don't even know if this was in my top 5, to be honest. But I was really, really looking forward to it. So the funny story is that we went to go see this on Friday night. Myself and Geeky Pat, actually. And we were going to go see it on Friday night, and we always do these kind of movies in IMAX, you know? So we're like, okay, let's go see the IMAX 3D showing. It's going to be awesome. We get to the theater, and the line is literally wrapped around the side of the building. And I'm like, holy crap, there's no way this is really what's going on right now for this movie, right? And Geeky Pat got to the usher before me, and the guy was like, yep, this is sold out. Next showing sold out. Showing after that sold out. And so we were like, holy crap. So our plans completely got squashed on Friday night because we did not prepay for tickets because, I mean, the only time we did that was for Avengers Age of Ultron. I didn't think that Jurassic World was going to be that popular that we was going to run into a sold out showing. I even got to the theater over a half hour early, so I'm like thinking like, yeah, I'm making good timing here. Let's go watch the movie. So we couldn't do it, so we actually prepaid and got tickets for Saturday afternoon at like 4:30, which was actually another sold out showing. And I'm like, damn, man, this movie is performing like crazy. Because it did like $18 million on Thursday night in pre-shows, which was really good. The early predictions for Jurassic World was $125 million for opening weekend. 125. Friday alone, the movie made like $88 million. Like just on Friday. So they're like, oh, this is gonna smash what we thought it would at 125. So now we'll predict about 170. Okay? 170. Well, the official box office numbers came out this morning, and the film made $204 million. So it continued to smash every prediction that was out there. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody, and I'm including myself here. 204 million? I mean, we'll talk more box office later, but that is insane. A movie that was predicted to make 125 made 204. That is the biggest discrepancy I've ever seen in box office history. I knew it would do good. They were predicting it would be the biggest June opening of all time. But 204? Avengers Age of Ultron made 191. So wrap your head around that. This is the biggest movie of the year. This is the second biggest opening of all time behind the original Avengers film. Insane. So, like I said, we'll get to box office a little bit more later, but I'm just trying to set it up here. You know, so we finally see Jurassic World in IMAX 3D on Saturday. And I gotta tell you on a side note, late last week they started advertising that Marvel had made a deal with Universal Pictures and they were going to be doing a 6-minute preview of Ant-Man before the IMAX showings of Jurassic World. So I got to see the 6-minute preview of Ant-Man, and I gotta tell you, it looked awesome. I was already excited for Ant-Man. Let's say my excitement level for Ant-Man was at a 8 out of 10. Now it's at like a 15 out of 10 just because of that preview. It really set up the humor in the movie. The special effects are just outstanding. And I think the 3D is really going to work with Ant-Man. Everything I've seen of Ant-Man in 3D has been just phenomenal. So, very smart move, I think, on Marvel's part to do this pre-screen, especially when you see how much money this movie made. There was a lot of people, and I heard people even around me at our showing that went, damn, that looks pretty good, let's go watch that. So those are people that had never either known that Ant-Man was coming out or knew it was and thought, whatever. I heard several people around me say, that looks really good. So they did its job, and they did it very well. So congratulations to Marvel on knocking that one out the park. Now let's get to Jurassic World. This film is a direct sequel to Jurassic Park. They basically, you have to just throw away that 2 and 3 ever happened. There's really no reference to them, and from the interviews and stuff I've read with the director, Colin Trevorrow, it's basically like they just kind of retconned it, and they didn't exist. So this is basically 23 years later, after the opening of Jurassic Park and the failure of it and all that kind of stuff. It's now called Jurassic World, and they open up this like theme park on another side of the same island of the original film, but it's a different side of the island, and business is booming and everything's looking good, and they got all these attractions set up. It's kind of like a SeaWorld, but with dinosaurs, and it looked really cool. I was like, damn, I'd love to go to a place like this. Bryce Dallas Howard, she plays kind of like the head of Jurassic World. She's the one in charge. She's the head woman in charge. And the movie kind of starts off with your characters. If you've seen the trailer, you know that there's like the 2 kids in it. Judy Greer and her husband send their kids to Jurassic World for a couple days. Bryce Dallas Howard is Judy Greer's sister. So they say, you're going to go spend some time with your aunt. She's going to show you her theme park and blah, 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 blah. So it's about these 2 boys, and they kind of go to Jurassic World, and, they're kind of bickering, and they don't really like each other very much at the beginning of the film. And, so it's kind of their story, but then it's also the story of, the fact that Bryce Dallas Howard knows that the theme park is kind of leveling out. Like, they're not getting any new visitors and stuff, and it looks like the way history has gone is that every time attendance starts to dip or kind of maintain, they invent a new dinosaur. They invent something new for people to come out and check out. So they invent this new Indominus Rex, which is supposed to be bigger than a T-Rex, and it's, stronger and got more teeth and all this kind of stuff. So they build a whole new cage for this thing. And, of course, this is the dinosaur in the trailer and everything that escapes and goes ballistic and threatens the entire island. So that's as far as I'll go. This is a spoiler-free review. I do plan to do an Am I Still on the Air with Geeky Pat and Peeps, and we'll talk about this in full spoiler effect here, hopefully, in the next week or so. We got to. But in a spoiler-free review, basically, so then you have Chris Pratt's character on there. He's kind of, he's an animal wrangler. Like, he works with the Velociraptors. He trains with them, so they kind of trust him. And, of course, once the Indominus Rex escapes, they need his help. Bryce Dallas Howard also needs his help to go find the boys, because the boys get lost and kind of off track during all the melee here. It's intense. The action is top-notch. All the dinosaurs looked amazing. I was afraid that the CGI was going to be too much for me, but I thought it worked really well, and I thought they did a great job of making the dinosaurs look really, really well done. Overall, this was just a big blast. It's not better than Jurassic Park, but it's right up there for me. I mean, it smashes, obviously, number 2 and 3, and it's just a really fun movie, and I left just excited at the possibility of another one, and obviously with a $204 million opening, and actually the biggest global opening of all time, the film's already made over $500 million worldwide, we're definitely getting another Jurassic World. So, and Chris Pratt's already said that he's signed on for more films, so we're definitely getting more. I'm very excited to get more, and I can't wait to see what they do next. I loved Jurassic World. It kept me just glued to the screen and excited. It was pretty violent, too. I mean, for being a PG-13 movie, there was a lot of blood, and there was some intended, dinosaurs eating people, in half, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's a little intense, so be careful when you bring little kids to this. But I thought they did an amazing job with it, and we got another 5 out of 5, my friends. It's only the second time this summer that we've had it behind Avengers, and I would have to say at this point, this is my second favorite movie of the year. This puts it right behind Avengers Age of Ultron for me as my second favorite film of the year. So definitely go see it. I think most of you probably have already based on this box office. But Jurassic World was pretty damn awesome, so I can't recommend it enough. Alright, my friends, let's switch gears and get into our news of the week. News of the week. Alright, well, speaking of Avengers Age of Ultron, congratulations, because it is now the 5th highest grossing movie of all time. Knew that was only a matter of time, but it's moving its way on up. It's actually behind, so Avatar is number 1, number 2 is Titanic, number 3 is the original Avengers film, number 4 is Furious 7, and number 5 is Avengers Age of Ultron. So we'll see if Avengers Age of Ultron can catch up to Furious 7. I don't think it will. Furious 7 is just a tad bit ahead, and I think, Age of Ultron's kind of like hitting its bottom kind of peak, especially, worldwide stuff too, so I don't know if it's going to be able to catch it, but we'll see. But hey, 5th biggest of all time ain't nothing too shabby. I think we talked about this a little bit on last week. It was kind of breaking news, but I'll talk about it again. Constantine, the TV show Constantine, is officially dead following a brand new search for a new home. They were shopping it around all the networks, and unfortunately nobody picked it up. So everybody's been let out of their contract, and there will be no more Constantine. I'm very sad about this. I really like Constantine, and it's just too bad that nobody else took a chance on it. Congratulations to The Rock's movie San Andreas. That has crossed the $300 million mark worldwide. Very big hit for The Rock, and I'm super excited for him. If you're into the Tony Awards, we got the full listing of the 2015 awards winners for the Tonys, so you can check that out on our Facebook and Twitter page. Alrighty, we got the first official trailer for The Martian, starring Matt Damon. This is Ridley Scott's new film. I think it looks pretty good, actually. Ridley Scott's been very hit and miss over the past couple of years, but The Martian actually looks really, really good, so check out that trailer. Let's see here. The Rock has addressed some fan reaction to the Big Trouble in Little China remake. I talked about this on last week's show, that he's going to be doing a Big Trouble in Little China reboot. And, a lot of people really like it, but of course there's the purists out there that are like, oh, this is stupid, why are we doing this? And, so he came out, and I really liked his comments, because he came out and he said, this is coming from a place of heart. This is coming from a place of a fan that just wants to remake a movie that I really love. And we want to do it the right way, and we got the correct writers on it. He said he'd even love to bring John Carpenter into the mix. He says we want to do it the right way. He says when everything's said and done, and they're looking to make this movie, and it is basically going to turn out to a big piece of shit, he's like, then we shake hands, we wash our hands of it, and we all go our separate directions and say we tried. So I think The Rock has a great understanding of remakes and reboots, and I like that he's saying, hey, we're going to give it a good go ahead, and if it doesn't work, then oh well, we tried. So I really, really like that from him. So very cool to hear him kind of respond to that stuff. We posted a really cool featurette of James Cameron talking about Terminator Genesis, and this made me super happy, because James Cameron gives his endorsement of Terminator Genesis, gives a big thumbs up, says he really enjoyed the film. He got to see a pre-screening of it, and he says for himself, he feels this is the best direct sequel to his first two films. He says in his mind, Terminator Genesis is the part 3 of the original Terminator series. So he says, forget about Rise of the Machines, forget about Salvation, just think of it as Terminator, Terminator Judgment Day, and Terminator Genesis all being kind of like a trilogy. He said that, the film shares a lot of that same flavor, it has the same love behind it, and he just really, really enjoyed it as a fanboy. And that's exciting to me, because James Cameron is not an easy critic to please, and he's been very vocal about how much he didn't like the other Terminator films. So, there's a lot of haters out there that are saying, oh, Terminator Genesis looks so bad, and people have been hating on this film forever, ever since they announced it. I haven't. I've been a big supporter of it. I'm excited that Arnold's back, and I'm really looking forward to this film. And now that James Cameron himself has given a big thumbs up, I'm really, really excited. All I hope out of this is that this isn't just a marketing ploy. I hope that the studio didn't just cut him a $2 million check and said, hey, go out there and tell everybody the film's great. I don't think James Cameron needs the money. He has the two biggest films of all time. And honestly, I think his word means a lot. And I don't think that he would really just take a paycheck just to, add some fluff to people about a film. So I don't think that that's the case. But so I'm taking his word for it, and I am very excited for Terminator Genisys. We're only a couple weeks away. We got an interview with Joseph Gordon-Levitt talking about his Sandman adaptation. He says it's just really hard to do, and that's why it's taking so long. But he says it's coming together very nicely, and he asked all the fans for just some patience. So we got some patience. We'll chill. Hulu is going to be streaming a brand new Mr. Bean animated series. Okay. Brad Pitt is going to be starring in a Netflix original movie called War Machine. And no, it's not War Machine from the Marvel Universe. He's not becoming Colonel James Rhodes. Now, this is a war movie called War Machine. What I think is great about this is just continuing to prove that Netflix is ready to be a big player in this movie game. Think about it. I mean, they just signed Adam Sandler to like a 5 or 6 film deal, and now they're signing a deal with Brad Pitt for him and his production company to come do a film exclusively for Netflix. This will not be in theaters. This is going to be a brand new exclusive movie on Netflix. So pretty damn cool, man, and it just shows how big Netflix is at this point. Speaking of Netflix, there's a couple new series that you can stream on there. Of course, all the fans are excited that Orange is the New Black Season 3 is now available to stream. So that came out on Friday. And actually, the previous week, a brand new series from the Wachowski brothers called Sense8 also debuted, which is another really weird sci-fi kind of series. So brand new stuff to watch on Netflix. Go check it out. Let's see here. Elisha Cuthbert, who I love, she's so gorgeous. She's joining Sean William Scott in the Goon sequel, Last of the Enforcers. So that's a pretty cool addition there. Very happy about that. Comedy Central is renewing This Is Not Happening for a second season, which I've never even heard of that show before. Showtime's new streaming service is coming to the Roku and the PlayStations. So remember, it's going to launch exclusively on like the Apple TV stuff like HBO Go did, but then it will be expanding to Roku and PlayStation View very, very soon. Wendy Williams' TV show has been extended through the summer for the 3rd straight year, so congratulations to her for that. Marion Cotillard is in talks to join Brad Pitt in a new World War II drama, and this is actually not the War Machine film. So, kind of come on, Brad Pitt, stop making damn war movies. I'd like to see you do more than that. It's like the World War Z and the upcoming World War Z sequel are like the only time Brad Pitt doesn't want to make a war movie for some reason, even though it is World War. So I'm sensing a theme here with Brad Pitt. The second season of DareDevil, their showrunner is going to be writing the Akira adaptation for Warner Brothers. So they're moving ahead with Akira. I know that our boy Friggins here on Red Dragons Radio is a big Akira fan, so he's very excited about that. And that's a good writer to get behind it, so very, very cool. The female 21 Jump Street movie has tapped the Bob's Burgers writers to write the script for it. So we'll see how that one turns out. I've never really watched Bob's Burgers, but I know a lot of people think it's hilarious. Let's see here. Daredevil's Stephen DeKnight has joined the Transformers Writers Room. This Transformers Writers Room is something we've been talking about for several episodes now of Am I on the Air, because it just grows bigger and bigger and bigger by the week. But this is supposedly the last edition, and I think it's their best edition, to be honest. Stephen DeKnight is the showrunner for the entire first season of Daredevil. He put the whole show together. He was the man behind all the episodes. And he's also the man that's been behind a lot of stuff, especially with Joss Whedon. He's worked on, Buffy and Angel and a lot of those shows, Dollhouse. He's got a great mind for the business, and he knows what's up with connected and shared universes and all this stuff. So I think he is an excellent addition to the Transformers Writers Room, and I cannot wait to see what they end up coming up with in this room. because there's so much that they could do with this. They're still talking about that Transformers 1 prequel. We got some spin-offs that they can maybe Bumblebee, maybe do Beast Wars, Dinobots, like all kinds of cool stuff. So, of course, and on top of that, sequels and stuff like that. So, I can't wait to see what this Transformers Writers Room comes up with officially, because so far on paper, they're knocking this thing out the park. We have the very first official teaser trailer for Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 that you can check out right now, and looks pretty cool. We have our first image of The Rock from his new movie Central Intelligence, which he co-stars with Kevin Hart. I'm super excited for this film. I was watching some interviews with Kevin Hart last week, and he was saying that their chemistry is really good and the movie's really funny and coming together really, really well so far. So I'm super excited about Central Intelligence. Let's see here. We got a first look at Barbershop 3. It's just a staff picture that kind of shows everybody chilling together. Marvel's AKA Jessica Jones, which is the next Marvel Netflix show coming out, has dropped the AKA. The show will now just officially be called Marvel's Jessica Jones. So no big whoopee there. I don't know why they added the AKA in the first place. We're going back to Netflix now, because Netflix has now saved another show. No, they couldn't step in and shave Constantine, which sucks, but they've saved Degrassi. Yes, Degrassi, the teenage high school show that was finally getting canceled over on Nickelodeon, has just been picked up by Netflix, and they will air all new episodes starting in 2016. So there you go for all of you Degrassi fans out there. Bryce Dallas Howard, who, like I talked about earlier, can be seen right now in Jurassic World. She says she wants to be in a Marvel film, and she's saying, I think I should be Captain Marvel. So, I you know what? I would not hate this casting. I really like Bryce Dallas Howard, and I wouldn't mind it at all if she was, Captain Marvel. Which, all the rumors right now, though, are leading towards Charlize Theron. So, I think I'd probably prefer Charlize as Captain Marvel, but you wouldn't be going very wrong with Bryce Dallas Howard either. The Witcher game 3, Wild Hunt, has sold over 4 million copies already, so big video game there. Ice Cube is going to be reuniting with NWA for one huge performance, of course in celebration of Straight Outta Compton, their biography film that's coming out here very soon over the summer. Warner Brothers has officially announced the synopsis for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and it goes a little something like this. Fearing the actions of a godlike superhero left unchecked, Gotham City's own formidable, forceful vigilante takes on Metropolis's most revered modern-day savior, while the world wrestles with what sort of hero it really needs. And with Batman and Superman at war at one another, a new threat quickly arises, putting mankind in greater danger than it's ever known before. So, that's the official synopsis. It doesn't really give you very much out of it. It's pretty much what you'd expect a synopsis for Batman v Superman to be. Like, oh, they're at odds, and there's a greater threat out there. So the greater threat has some people wondering, are we just talking about Lex Luthor? There's been a lot of rumors lately saying that Doomsday is going to be in the movie. So, who knows what that's going to be, but at least we know there's another threat out there besides just Batman and Superman beating each other up for 2 hours. So, there's your official synopsis of that. Let's see how. Demi Lovato has joined the TV show From Dusk Till Dawn over on the El Rey Network, so that's pretty cool casting there. Michelle Monaghan, who actually retweeted my breaking news of her joining this and favorited it, so thank you, Michelle Monaghan, my good friend Michelle Monaghan. She's going to be starring in the new Hulu original series called The Way, so definitely check that out and support her. We have the first exclusive promo poster from Independence Day 2, which is pretty cool. It's the big Independence Day spaceship just blasting Earth from space, which looks kind of crazy. Let's see here. Supergirl is going to be premiering on CBS. It's got its premiere date, and it'll be premiering on October 26th. So look for that on CBS. It's Supergirl. Alrighty, and this was one of the biggest news announcements to come out of last week. We talked about this because it was breaking when we recorded Red Dragons Assemble, so we've already discussed it on that show. But for all of you here on Am I on the Air, in case you haven't heard, Frank Castle is coming to Hell's Kitchen, and those who stand in his way shall be punished. Jon Bernthal, who most people know from The Walking Dead, he was in Snitch with The Rock. He was in Grudge Match last year with Sylvester Stallone and Robert De Niro. He was in Brad Pitt's movie Fury last year. Really good actor. He's been around for a while. He's just always kind of a side guy. He's been cast as Marvel's Punisher. We've been waiting to see if Punisher was going to get his chance in the MCU, and he is. But before you get too crazy about it, check it out. He is going to be making his debut in Daredevil Season 2. That's going to come out next year in 2016. So he's supposedly playing a pretty big role. It's not just going to be a cameo. He most likely will be an antagonist for Daredevil for maybe half the season or so before they end up teaming up. This is super exciting. One of the first things I said after watching Daredevil was, give me Punisher now. Because Daredevil proved that you could have a universe where Punisher fit in all of his violence and everything, and it wouldn't seem out of place. So I wanted it, and I wanted it on Netflix. And, you know, although they're not giving us a Punisher TV show, they're giving us Punisher in the Daredevil show, which Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil, when they asked him, what do you want for Season 2? He said, I want Punisher, I want Elektra, and I want Bullseye. So that was his wish list, and we know that we're getting Punisher right now, so he must be super happy. We're hearing rumors about Bullseye possibly being Jason Statham. Don't know. I think a lot of that could be kind of bull, but Jason Statham would be an amazing Bullseye. And we'll see what happens with Elektra. I think we are going to get Elektra in this next season as well. So this is really big news. We finally get the return of Frank Castle. We get the return of the Punisher in the MCU, starting out on Netflix. We'll see if maybe it expands into a film. We'll see if it expands into him getting his own Netflix series, maybe in 2017. But him popping up first, getting introduced on Daredevil, is a great way to get it started. So congratulations to Marvel, just killing it again. Jon Bernthal is your new Punisher. Mark your calendars, because I got CBS's full set of premiere dates for all of your favorite shows. So if you're wondering when your favorite shows might be coming back over on CBS, check it out, because it'll tell you, including all the new shows as well. Let's see here, what else we got? Jaden Smith has joined Baz Luhrmann's musical drama called The Get Down, which is going to be a Netflix exclusive as well, because, you know, everything's just Netflix these days. Let's see here. We have the honest trailer for Jurassic Park: The Lost World, so you can check that out. We got everything wrong with Into the Woods in just fairy tale minutes. Liza Scheslinger is going to be hosting TBS's relationship game show called Separation Anxiety. That should be pretty good. I like her. She's funny as hell. Henry Winkler and William Shatner are going to be headlining NBC's new adventure series called Better Late Than Never. So that's a hell of a teaming up there to host a show. Nigel Lithgow's Fame reboot has landed over on the Lifetime channel, so that's where you can catch that. Universal Pictures and Judd Apatow's Lonely Island movie is going to be hitting theaters on June 3rd, 2016. So that's cool. I will be there. I love the Lonely Island. Let's see here. Hugh Jackman explains why Jerry Seinfeld is behind the end of the Wolverine. Hugh Jackman finally came out and spoke out about not being Wolverine anymore, and he stated that it was because of a conversation he had with Jerry Seinfeld, and he said to Jerry, how did you know it was time to stop? And Jerry told him, because I went out on top. He was like, you want to go out on top. You don't want to ever do it too long to where then people are like, man, why is this guy still doing what he does? He should have gone away a long time ago. Wearing out your welcome. And you said, I really thought about that. And, and the X-Men movies have been getting better and better, and everything's really at the peak right now. And he's like, so that made me say, this is the right time. Let me go out on top. Let me go out while I can still do this and not overstay my welcome to where people are like, damn, man, it's Hugh Jackman again? Like, give it up, man. So that's why. So I'm still very sad about this. We actually talked in great detail about Hugh Jackman ending his run as Wolverine on Red Dragons Assemble. But I'm still really bummed as the fanboy in me. But I understand. He's given us Wolverine for 17 years. And he's done an amazing job at it for almost 10 movies. So I thank you, sir, for everything you've done. Alrighty. Bad Boys 3. Looks like it may be circulating again, and this gets me super excited because Bad Boys 2 is one of my all-time favorite movies. Love Bad Boys 1 as well. Joe Carnahan is circling directing this, and Joe Carnahan, mostly known for directing the A-Team movie a couple years ago, which I loved. And he's done a couple other ones that are spacing me right now, but he's a great action director. This guy knows what's up. And they're actually wanting him to work on a script right now with an option to possibly direct as well. So he's looking at the script. They want Will Smith to jump on this ASAP as soon as he's done filming Suicide Squad. We know Martin Lawrence is ready to go because they just have to ask for some time off at the Taco Bell real quick. And they'll be ready to go. So this gets me really excited. The only thing that I'm kind of bummed out about this, though, is that they're saying that, most likely Michael Bay will not be back to direct. And I know all you Michael Bay haters out there are probably like, yeah, this is awesome. It's not awesome. Michael Bay made Bad Boys 1 and 2, and they're amazing movies, especially Bad Boys 2. I want to see Michael Bay reunite with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. I want to see what they can do right now in 2015 with a Bad Boys 3. If I don't get Michael Bay back and I get Joe Carnahan, that's cool, because I'd rather just have a Bad Boys 3. Hopefully they can keep that same chemistry, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a little disappointed that it doesn't seem like Bay's back. But Michael Bay has not said that he isn't doing it either. So I think a lot of it's going to depend on timing, the Transformers stuff, like everything else. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed, maybe he'll return. But if anything, I just want to get a Bad Boys 3 finally. Alrighty, let's see here. What else do we got? We got some pictures from the licensing expo of Batman v Superman, of the Batman outfit and the Superman outfit, the Wonder Woman outfit, the Batmobile, all kinds of stuff that was pretty cool. So check out the Batman v Superman display at the licensing expo over on our Twitter page. We got some new Civil War details on Black Panther, the Falcon, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm just going to talk about it. So I'm going to say spoiler right now. Some of this stuff, this is all rumored, by the way, so I'm not really spoiling stuff, but some of it could turn out to be true, so I'm going to give you a heads up. I wasn't going to talk about it, but it's pretty cool. So kind of spoiler, fast forward 2 minutes if you don't want to hear it. Spoiler alert. Okay, so some of the stuff coming out about Civil War is some pretty cool things. One, that Captain America is finally going to have kind of his metal sheet plating kind of suit, which is how he looks in the comics. You know how that top part is kind of like an overlayer of like sheet metal. He's going to have that. Supposedly his new version of the costume will be in Civil War. Falcon is going to actually not, in the comics he talks to birds. He's got kind of like his little pet bird with him. So they're not going to go that crazy with it in the Marvel universe, but he supposedly is going to have a drone bird that goes along with him, simply called Red. And it's going to be a drone that is in the shape of a bird that he can send out and have kind of like have the information relayed back to him. Pretty cool. Black Panther's, claws. We already thought about this, but that it would be made out of vibranium, and like he'll scratch up Captain America's shield. It'll be against Cap when you first meet him, and then he'll probably side with Tony Stark in the Civil War stuff. And then the last little piece of information was that Ant-Man, as you know in the comics, not only can he shrink, but he also can grow really big and become Giant Man. And the rumor is that in the big Civil War fight, Ant-Man will become Giant Man. And that there also might be a pretty cool little scene where he shrinks down to Ant-Man size and gets on Hawkeye's arrow, and Hawkeye shoots an arrow with Ant-Man on top of it, which would be pretty insane also, because I know there's actually a comic cover that has that exact picture on it. So a lot of cool sounding stuff coming out of Civil War. Like I said, it's all kind of rumored at this point, but this is supposedly what some set reports were talking about. So, okay, end of spoiler discussion. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Raven Symone has been named the new co-host of The View, so congratulations to her. We have a who's who of who's not coming back to Heroes Reborn, and there's some big names on there, which makes me pretty sad, because I love Heroes, and I'm looking very forward to the reboot. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that I was a little bummed out that some of my favorite characters of the show are not actually returning. So the people not returning are Hayden Panettiere, which that's where I first met this little lovely woman. Save the cheerleader, save the world. She's not coming back. Ali Larder, who I also love, she's not coming back. Sucks. Adrian Pasdar. Milo Ventimiglia, which I love Milo because he played Peter Petrelli, and Peter was the main focus of the damn show, man. I was really hoping Peter was going to come back. And of course, we've already talked about it, but Zachary Quinto, who of course played Sylar, who was the biggest bad guy on Heroes, and I love Sylar and would love to see Zachary Quinto come back, but he's not. And so a little piece of me inside was saying maybe they'll keep these secret and just bring him back as a cameo. Well, Tim Kring, who's the director and the producer and creator of the show, he's already come out and say, like, nope, the names we told you who's going to be in there, don't expect anyone else to pop up because it's not happening. So he kind of shot it down, and just kind of bums me out, because it's basically all the main people that would have been back to this show aren't coming back, and that kind of sucks. So no shocker here, based on how well Pitch Perfect 2 is done, Pitch Perfect 3 is coming. Bumblebee, Bumblebee, Bumblebee. So let's warm up them vocals and get ready for some more acapella. It's Pitch Perfect 3. It's on the way, and they're getting Part 1's original writer Kay Cannon back to write the script. Supposedly, Rebel Wilson and God, why am I spacing her name? Anna Kendrick, the two main stars of the franchise, are not under contract to come back for a third one, so they're going to have to be coming up with some dollars to get them to come back for number 3. We have the very first picture of Mulder and Scully returning for X-Files revival. They started filming the reboot, and they got a pretty cool picture of them just sitting in the back of a car, but it's proof that the show is really happening, and that's kind of cool. It sounds like Marge and Homer are going to be separating in the Simpsons season premiere when it happens, so we'll see what happens with that. Gwen Stefani is returning to The Voice in Season 9. So, this is the one thing I really like with The Voice is how they kind of change out coaches. It's like they keep flipping the roster around. Besides Blake and Adam Levine, those two are always there. But the other two spots seem to constantly rotate out with Christina Aguilera and Usher and Pharrell and Gwen and Shakira. So it's pretty cool. I like that they keep doing that, and I think, I'm happy to see Gwen come back. So love me some Gwen Stefani. So very cool. She'll be back in Season 9. The Sci-Fi Channel is going to be adapting Dan Simmons' new sci-fi bestseller, Hyperion. And the cool thing about it is actually that Bradley Cooper and Todd Phillips are going to be developing it, which is really cool. Todd Phillips, who made the Hangover movies, and Bradley Cooper, so that's pretty cool behind that. So Hyperion coming to the Sci-Fi Channel. We have already listed the CBS fall premiere dates. We now have ABC's fall premiere dates for all their returning and new debuting shows. For those of you going to Comic-Con, the Supergirl pilot will be screening at Comic-Con, so you can check it out early there. Starz Channel has renewed Powers for a 3rd season, so that's pretty cool over there. We have the full television lineup for Warner Brothers, their Comic-Con 2015 lineup, so that's pretty cool there. We have all the ABC fall premiere dates for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Scandal, Modern Family, and a whole bunch more. The show Episodes, which is on the Showtime network starring Matt LeBlanc, has been renewed for a 5th season. So very cool there. Congratulations to Matt LeBlanc on that. Speaking of Comic-Con again, it is official. Disney has announced that Star Wars The Force Awakens is coming to Comic-Con. So, nice to see Star Wars is going to have a big presence at Comic-Con. We have a listing of the full cast of Jay Baruchel's new Goon 2, The Last of the Enforcers lineup casting call with Sean William Scott and everybody else that has joined the cast. We have a cool behind-the-scenes look of X-Men Apocalypse filming, where they're doing a new Quicksilver scene, so we know how awesome that was in Days of Future Past. They're doing something pretty outlandish again for Apocalypse. A big blow for Disney, as they could lose as much as $140 million on Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland, of course, has turned out to be a big financial bomb for Disney. Of course, Disney is laughing because in one weekend they made this more than this on just the Avengers. Disney's doing okay. So for everybody that's like, oh my god, what are they going to do? They're going to be just fine. It's Disney. They got Star Wars coming out later in the year. They got Ant-Man coming out still. They got, Pixar's Inside Out comes out next weekend. I think, the Tomorrowland bomb sucks, but nobody needs to worry about Disney. But that is a big, big, massive loss. That is their biggest bomb since the Lone Ranger a couple years ago. So, $140 million loss on Tomorrowland. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. We have the first trailer for Regression, starring Emma Watson and Ethan Hawke. You can check that out. We also posted the extended TV spot for Spectre, the new Daniel Craig James Bond movie. I'm very excited about this news. I thought this was hilarious. We found out that Chris Hemsworth has joined the cast of the Ghostbusters reboot, the all-female Ghostbusters reboot that Paul Feig is doing. And guess what? He is not going to be a Ghostbuster. He's going to be the new Ghostbusters receptionist. Oh, yeah. So this is hilarious. This is one of those breaking topics that we actually talked about on Red Dragons Assemble. I think this is genius right here, because what I picture in my head is Chris Hemsworth chilling at the reception desk in glasses. He's very shy, very timid, and all the Ghostbusters chicks are just going to be hitting on him nonstop, smacking his ass, being like trying to hook up with him, trying to go on dates, and he's just like, what? Like, I just, the role reversal of it, it just sounds hilarious to me. I think this is just such genius, and of course Paul Feig would think of this. Chris Hemsworth, Thor himself, the new Ghostbusters receptionist. In some sad news, we said goodbye to a great actor this past week, as Christopher Lee from Lord of the Rings, the Star Wars prequels, and Dracula, all kinds of long list of stuff, passed away at the age of 93. So it's always very sad, but at the age of 93, he's lived a very full life, very legendary roles that will live on forever. So we just say goodbye, R.I.P., and Godspeed. All right, moving on. Another big casting that came out this past week is Chiwetel Ejiofor, of course, the lead actor of 12 Years a Slave and all kinds of other great stuff. I love Chiwetel. He's actually going to be in The Martian with Matt Damon. That trailer just dropped the other day. He's been cast in Doctor Strange. He is going to be playing Baron Mordo in Marvel's Doctor Strange. This is a guy that becomes kind of like, he's a friend to Doctor Strange, ends up becoming a villain. They're being very hush-hush on if he'll actually turn into a villain in this film, or if they're just going to have him be the friend. But this is great casting. I believe he's going to be the villain, because we had heard the rumors months ago that Chiwetel Ejiofor was going to be the villain in Doctor Strange, and then it kind of went super hush. We didn't hear nothing about it again, and now all of a sudden he's cast. So I'm going to assume that they've stuck to that original plan, and they just tried to distance themselves with a little bit of time. But great casting. You got Benedict Cumberbatch. Now you got Chiwetel Ejiofor. We got Tilda Swinton last week as the Ancient One. They're really stacking this thing with really gifted actors. You can now pre-order The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened, the new documentary talking about that Tim Burton Superman movie. It is a digital download that you can now pre-order at tdoslwh.com. With 8 hours of content, you'll be able to start streaming it on July 9th. So go check that out. I'm very excited for The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. We have a brand new poster and trailer for The Man from U.N.C.L.E. So finally we get something new right there. The new Henry Cavill Superman movie himself with Lone Ranger's Army Hammer. Looks like a really fun movie. I like the second trailer a lot, so check out the new stuff for The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Terry Gilliam says that he will finally make his Don Quixote movie as part of a new Amazon deal that he's going to do. So, cool. We got the new poster for the horror comedy called Cooties, starring Elijah Wood and Rainn Wilson, which I think looks pretty funny, actually. We have the Season 3 teaser trailer for Masters of Sex. That's going to be debuting here in a couple weeks on Showtime. We have all the new Ant-Man posters posted, which I think they're hilarious. They actually are taking a theme from the Avengers with the big title Ant-Man, and underneath it says no shield, no hammer, no problem. And in one poster it's Thor's hammer upside down and Ant-Man standing on top of it. And another one it's the Captain America shield and he's standing on top of the shield. And in the third poster it's Iron Man standing there and he's on Iron Man's shoulder. So pretty hilarious, cool marketing to make people understand this isn't the same MCU. And I just think a very smart, hilarious way to do the Ant-Man stuff. Matthew Vaughn confirms the Kingsman sequel, and he says that he may actually direct it himself. This is very exciting for me. I want him to direct the sequel. We knew a sequel was coming, but I was hesitant on it, not knowing about what Matthew Vaughn's involvement would be. But he says that he loves this universe, he loves the people in it, and he's very excited to revisit it again. So hopefully he will end up directing it. Kingsman, which is actually now on DVD and Blu-ray. I just got it on this past week, so check that out if you haven't seen it. Probably my fourth favorite film of the year so far. Conan O'Brien is going to be moderating Lionsgate Movies, The Hunger Games, and The Last Witch Hunter San Diego Comic-Con panel, so that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. We have the full Comic-Con lineup for the FX channel. Denzel Washington has signed his deal to return in the Equalizer 2, and the Equalizer 2 will hit theaters on September 29th, 2017. We have the first teaser trailer for the Lifetime channel's TV movie called A Deadly Adoption, which is starring Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig. I know when I say that, you probably laughed. But actually, it's not a comedy. This is a true, real story. It's a true story that's just kind of crazy and out there. And they really did have Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig make this. And this is not a comedy. This is very serious. It will be on the Lifetime channel. And it debuts here in a couple weeks. So check that out. Elizabeth Banks is in talks to direct the young adult adaptation of Red Queen. So she might be adapting that book. Star Wars Battlefront will be releasing a deluxe edition. And if you're interested in what's involved with that, you can click the link on our Facebook and Twitter page. We have the full winners list for the 2015 Country Music Awards. You can check that out on our Twitter and Facebook page. We got Everything Wrong with Monsters, Inc. in 14 minutes or less. We have a trailer for Zootopia, which is a new Disney animated film that will come out next year. We have the new trailer for Rock the Casbah, which is a new comedy starring Bill Murray and Bruce Willis. We have a trailer for The Program, which is the Lance Armstrong movie starring Ben Foster. We have the Breakpoint official trailer starring J.K. Simmons and Amy Smart. And, of course, that second Man from U.N.C.L.E. trailer I told you about. The Stars Channel is bringing both the Outlander show and Ash vs. the Evil Dead to San Diego Comic-Con, so that's pretty awesome. Universal Pictures has reached $2 billion internationally in record time, so they have broken all records. Universal Pictures, of course, is the biggest movie company out there. Most of this money comes from Furious 7, but now with Jurassic World on top of that, Universal is untouchable. The Voice Season 9 will be Adam Levine, Blake Shelton, Pharrell Williams, and like I told you earlier, Gwen Stefani. So that's the official full lineup for Season 9. It's funny that Pharrell keeps sitting in. They should change it out and put two chicks on. Why not? I want to see Shakira and Gwen on the same season. Let's see here. The OWN network has ordered a primetime talk show starring Tyrese and Reverend Run from Run DMC. That's an interesting lineup, so we'll see what happens there. David Fincher was working on a new HBO comedy production, and they just completely stopped production last week. Everybody was sent home, and there's no further word on it. Very, very weird. So we'll see and try to keep you posted on what's going on with that David Fincher show. Let's see. Fox has moved up The Martian. It was supposed to come out in November, and now it is coming out in October. So very, very cool. We're going to get it a little bit early, and that's due to the positive buzz from that trailer. Robert Redford has dropped out of directing the 9/11 thriller Against All Enemies. No word on why, except for creative differences. Yeah, because you know how that goes. Suicide Squad. Some set photos showed up of Common. A lot of people don't know who Common is playing. The rumor is that he's going to be the Tattooed Man, and we did talk about this on Red Dragons Assemble if you want a little bit more info. But this article here is saying that there's a couple other people he could actually be playing before we all just assume he's the Tattooed Man, even though it does go on to say most likely he's the Tattooed Man. So check that out if you're interested on reading more about who Common is in Suicide Squad. Smallville creators are putting out a new martial arts series called Into the Badlands, and we got some first look photos of that. The BBC's Teletubbies reboot has been picked up by Nickelodeon. Jeremy Renner has posted a picture from the Civil War set, which is actually a poster that they have on board, with like the left side kind of a half face of Captain America, the right side a half face of Iron Man, and it says whose side are you on in the middle, and then Captain America Civil War. So pretty cool, and it was cool that Jeremy Renner kind of tweeted that out himself. Matthew Broderick and Chloe Sevigny they're set to star in a brand new comedy called Look Away. Let's see. We have an article up talking about what to expect from the White Hot American Summer Netflix prequel. So we know that's coming in July. It is a prequel. It's set on the first day of camp, whereas the movie is set on the last day of camp. I'm looking really forward to this. I think this is going to be so funny. So funny. Street Fighter V is not coming to the Xbox One. Wah, wah. Told you all to get a PlayStation. Disney and Pixar revealed the voice casting for The Good Dinosaur. You can check that out if you click the link. I can't believe this has happened, but we've been talking nonstop about Spider-Man. Talking about who's in the running and who's not, and all this stuff. And we've all been saying it's Asa Butterfield. It's Aja. It's gonna be him. Why are we even playing this game? This is so stupid. Well, if the reports are to be believed, it looks like Asa Butterfield is actually out of the running and will not be Spider-Man. So that's crazy, because I would have put money on it that this dude was Spider-Man already. He's out of the running. And it looks like Marvel and Sony have locked it down to 3 people, but they are at odds over which one to go with. So the 3 contenders as of right now are
Closing time. Closing time. Breaking news. Gotham's underworld is terrorized by the brutal Red Hood. Overtime. For the latest details. Overtime.
Excuse me on that. The article I'm looking at just started playing audio. Okay, so the 3 contenders as of right now are Tom Holland from a movie called How I Live Now, Charlie Plummer from Boardwalk Empire, and Matthew Lintz from the upcoming Adam Sandler film Pixels. Supposedly, they claim that Marvel's pick is Charlie Plummer, while Sony wants Tom Holland, meaning that Marvel and Sony are now at odds over who should portray Spider-Man. So, I'm going to tell you, if they're at odds and Marvel wants Plummer and Sony wants Holland, I'm going with Plummer, and that's who Marvel's picked. This Holland kid looks like he's 10 years old. And the dude from Pixels looks like he's 8. So I want nothing to do with those other two. Charlie Plummer looks like he would be a really good Spider-Man. He fits the age range and actually looks like he could be a good Peter Parker in Spider-Man. So once again, this is all rumors. We're going to keep you posted. Hopefully one day soon, I can actually announce to you who the hell Spider-Man is. But as of right now, what I can tell you is that it seems like Asa Butterfield, who we all thought was going to be Spider-Man, is out of the running. Moving on, we got the first teaser trailer for The Leftovers, which is HBO's show. I really liked The Leftovers last season, so I'm looking forward to season 2. And I did post a bunch of movie reviews, 15-second movie reviews over on our Instagram page. For those of you that don't follow us on Instagram, you should. Go to your app and just search Am I on the Air? You'll find us there. I do 15-second movie reviews, but I was a couple of movies behind, so I banged them out the other day, so go check them out over on Instagram. London Has Fallen, which is the sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, has now been delayed 3 months and will arrive in January of 2016. It was originally supposed to come out in October, but then they moved The Martian to their release date, and they said, oh, hell no, we're getting the hell out the way. We don't want to go against The Martian, so they moved to January. So probably a smart move. I'm looking really forward to London Has Fallen, because I really liked Olympus a lot. So I'm looking forward to this one. Sucks I got to wait 3 more months, but I definitely understand why they did it. So it looks like Kindergarten Cop is getting an Arnold Schwarzenegger-less reboot. Another reboot, another remake, this time without Arnold Schwarzenegger. From the sound of it, it sounds like they're going to do this direct-to-video, which makes it even worse, because I already don't want to reboot to Kindergarten Cop, let alone one that's going straight to video and is going to be super uber cheesy. So we'll see what happens with that. We have a full cast listing of AMC's new Fear the Walking Dead, which is the Walking Dead spin-off show. You can check that out if you're interested in seeing the full cast list. Amy Poehler has joined Will Ferrell in the new film The House, which is pretty cool. We got the new Red Band trailer for Dope. You can check that out. Let's see here. Quentin Tarantino's new Hateful Eight. So you knew he was making this movie. The Hateful Eight will premiere on Christmas Day in 70mm format, which is the way he filmed it. It's the way he wants the movie to be seen. So it will be released on December 25th in 70mm format, which I'm not sure how many theaters will actually be showing that. But it'll air exclusively like that for a couple weeks, and then it'll hit all digital full-screen theaters nationwide starting on January 8th, 2016. So there you go. A lot of people have been wondering what's going on with the Hateful Eight. Now you got your answer. Let's see. Another rumor report that just came out on Friday states that the Hulk may actually be joining Civil War. We know the only people missing from Civil War right now are Hulk and Thor. And the latest word going around is that Hulk will have a little role in Civil War. Mark Ruffalo was doing an interview, and he said he was talking to Robert Downey Jr., and Robert Downey said to him, like, well, it looks like you're coming out here in a couple weeks, and Mark Ruffalo was like, I am? And he's like, yeah, you're on the docket that you're going to be getting, that your filming is coming up here in a couple weeks. And he was like, okay, then I guess I'll see you then. So Mark Ruffalo is playing kind of weird and coy and secretive about it, acting like he doesn't know, which is kind of odd, because if they have him literally down on a shooting sheet saying that he's filming in 2 weeks, why would he not know this? So I don't know what they're trying to hide or where they're going with this, but if you take rumor for what it is, and what he's saying, it sounds like we may get a little Bruce Banner in Civil War as well. Alrighty. We have the new trailer for Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No, which also showcases a huge amount of celebrity cameos that have been filmed for this movie. So, hilarious. Jurassic World on Friday had the third biggest opening day ever, bringing in $82.8 million just on Friday alone. Crazy. And yes, Chris Pratt is signed on for more Jurassic World movies, so that is awesome right there. And like I said, Jurassic World stomps to a record-breaking 204.6 million US debut and 511.8 million globally, which is just so insane. Jurassic World is the biggest global opening movie of all time, and then even tops Avengers Age of Ultron as the year's biggest domestic opening. Demi Lovato, Rainn Wilson, and Mandy Patinkin are going to be voicing some Smurfs in the new Sony animated version of the film called Get Smurfy. They're doing a whole new animated Smurf reboot, so those are some of the names that have been signed to that as of right now. Alrighty, my friends, and that actually brings us to our release dates and box office. That is the end of the news for the week. Let's see here. Coming out on DVD and Blu-ray this week on Tuesday is going to be Chappie, The Lazarus Effect, Run All Night, and Unfinished Business. So I saw all of these films. So quickly, if you don't remember, Chappie, I liked Chappie. I didn't love it. I gave Chappie, I think, 3.5 out of 5 stars. Just for Chappie, because Chappie was awesome. Chappie, why you still daddy stuff? Chappie like fries? Chappie was pretty funny, pretty good, 3.5 out of 5. The Lazarus Effect. This movie sucks ass. I think I gave The Lazarus Effect 1 out of 5 stars. Just horrible film. Run All Night, the Liam Neeson film with Ed Harris. I really like this one too. I think I gave this 3.5 out of 5 as well. Pretty good movie there. And Unfinished Business. This is the Vince Vaughn bomb that came out a couple months ago. I was so excited for this film. The trailer made it look so funny, and then I watched it, and the only funny parts were what was in the trailer. This was not really a comedy film as far as I'm concerned. This one only got 2 out of 5 for me. So those are all hitting DVD and Blu-ray this Tuesday. In theaters on Friday is the new Disney Pixar film Inside Out, which looks really good. It's the one with all the emotions in your head messing with you, anger and fear and all that kind of stuff. So I'm hearing nothing but great stuff about this film. So, so that's your big release for next week. And here's your box office report. Coming in at number 10, it's Love and Mercy with 1.8 million. My wife actually went and saw this the other day. She really liked it. It's the true story about the dude from the Beach Boys. Number 9 is Tomorrowland, bringing in 3.4 million. Number 8 is Avengers Age of Ultron with 3.6 million. Number 7 is Mad Max Fury Road with 4.1 million. Number 6 is Entourage with 4.3 million. Number 5 is Pitch Perfect 2 with 6 million. Number 4 is Insidious Chapter 3 with 7.3 million. Number 3 is San Andreas with another 11 million. Number 2 is Spy with 16 million. And your number 1 film, it's no shocker by now, I've talked about it all night, it's Jurassic World with $204.6 million. And another 307 internationally, bringing your worldwide goal to $511. Insane. It's a global box office record. Congratulations to Jurassic World, a franchise that everyone thought was dead. We haven't heard anything since Jurassic Park 3 came and went really quick. And it's nice to see the new life brought into it. A very big shocker for how big this movie has done. I can't believe it beat the Avengers. But well-deserved. 5 out of 5 for me. Go check it out. And that, my friends, will sum us up for another exciting edition of Am I on the Air. We actually went a little over an hour tonight, which is kind of crazy. We've been hitting around that 45 to 50-minute mark for the last several weeks. So that will do it for us tonight. Like I said, please go check out Red Dragons Assemble. If you go to reddragonsradio.com, it's the very first tab of all the podcasts listed on the side. Check it out and support your boys. Alright? So please check it out. And for us, amiontheair.com is our official webpage. Please bookmark it. Check it out all the time. You'll see all the new trailers in one spot, so you don't have to go searching around for them. Just go to amiontheair.com, click on the trailers tab. You can view our social tab, so you have links to all of the stuff I'm talking about right now. Subscribe to our YouTube page, youtube.com/amiontheair. Our Twitter, of course, @amiontheair. You can follow me on Twitter at DXDonMega. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/amiontheair. You can also check out all the box office stuff, movie reviews, listen to the show. It's all right there. All our Am I Still on the Airs? It's right there, amiontheair.com. You can, of course, subscribe to us on iTunes, download, rate, subscribe. And you can listen to us on Stitcher and Spreaker and TuneIn. And spread the love, man. Tell all your friends and family we are that we're out there, and we'll get your hookup for entertainment news. So that'll do it for us here on this Sunday night, June the 14th. My name is Don Mega, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, peace!